Congressman Paul Ryan nominated as Conservative of the Year for 2011 by the editors of Human Events, and you're on a list with Rush Limbaugh, Jim DeMint, Sarah Palin, very notable list of conservatives. And the reason why the editors chose you at Human Events was because you took the issue of Medicare head on, and this is something that the Republicans have always shied away.
That's right.
And not only did you didn't shy away from it and take it head on, but you got it adopted in a budget, and then you got it passed.
Right.
5 years ago, would you have ever envisioned this happening?
5 years ago, I introduced this idea of going from a defined benefit open-ended entitlement program to a defined contribution, market-driven, patient-centered system, and I was fortunate to get 8 co-sponsors of that idea. Then in 2010, I got 14 co-sponsors on that idea. This year, we passed it with all but 4 Republicans voting for it in the House and all but 5 Republicans voting for it in the Senate. And what I'm trying to do is move that idea, premium support, defined contribution, patient-centered, into the mainstream so that this becomes conventional wisdom on how best to fix these entitlement programs versus the Obama, IPAB, price control, rationing, government-run system. And so to me, we have really moved the center of gravity on this issue to where it ought to be, which is if you want to save this country from becoming a cradle-to-grave welfare state, you've got to get back toward patient-centered, individually driven, market-based reforms. And if we don't do that, then we will be managed decline. And I think we're making pretty good progress.
Do you think America could survive another 4 years of Barack Obama?
No, I think we'll become managed. We'll enter into a managed decline phase. The way I look at it is, mathematically speaking, our interest rates will start going away from us. So our interest on our debt will leave us. So we will, by definition, have a much bigger government, much higher tax rates. Under the Obama second term, we will basically enter into what I would call sort of a European austerity phase, where we will basically be managing our decline. We will have a weaker national defense. We will have stagnant economic growth, or not much economic growth at all, and we will have more of a cradle-to-grave society because Obamacare will get turned down. I mean, all he would have to do is veto, even if we win the Senate and the House and pass repeal after repeal of Obamacare, he'll just veto that. We won't have enough to override a veto. So that means the largest entitlement created really ever, this will be bigger than Medicare, will be created, and there will be so many people who are dependent upon the government for their livelihoods. We will cross 2 tipping points, a moral tipping point of people becoming more dependent upon the government, and a fiscal tipping point of the debt really getting the best of us, and we lose control of the situation, and we enter a managed decline phase. And so I really believe the next 2 to 3 years will make it or break it as to whether or not we go back to our limited government, economic freedom, American idea, or a European social democracy kind of a model.